He was a floppy-haired boy bander, she was a fiery girl group frontwoman, and together Brian McFadden and Kerry Katona were a match made in pop heaven. It was on the Smash Hits tour in 1999 that sparks first flew between Westlife's Brian and Atomic Kitten star Kerry. And had everything gone to plan, the day would have been their 21-year wedding anniversary. But sadly, despite the grand ceremony at the Church of the Immaculate Conception in Rathfay, Ireland, and 250-strong star-studded reception at Slane Castle, their union lasted just 2 years. Indeed, behind the £6,500 worth of lilies and glitzy bash, which was said to have cost £100,000 in total, according to Brian, had already realised it wasn't meant to be. Admitting he'd not stopped to think if the marriage was a good idea, the singer blamed his inexperience for the mess that followed. "I was very young when I met her and no one ever loved me before," said Brian, who was just 19 when he joined Westlife and had only kissed one person before Kerry. Talking to The Independent in 2007, he continued, "So when Kerry came along and wanted me, that gap was filled and I felt good simply because I had someone to share everything with. I never stopped to think, you really should get to know this person before you have kids, think of marrying or settle down. So then, when we had the first baby, bought a house, spent time together and Westlife became the same thing over and over, I woke up one morning and realized, this is not what I want to do with my life, I don't see myself being with this woman in 20 years, she's not who I'm meant to be with, we don't have anything in common." The former couple, who have daughters Molly, 21, and Lily Sue, 19, split in 2004 when Brian came clean and admitted he didn't love Kerry anymore in a tense phone call. He has always claimed their decision to split was mutual, she has insisted she begged him to stay. However, it turned out the writing was actually on the wall weeks before they even tied the knot when Brian cheated with a lap dancer on his stag do in 2001. Brian even went as far to imply that their whole marriage had been a sham. It wasn't a real wedding. We were getting married to have a big party and get loads of money for it, and to appear showbiz, he told Reveal magazine. The day my marriage ended was on the stag night. That was the time I felt this is not supposed to be. The nasty saga saw Brian pay a substantial settlement to lap dancer Amy Barker after he branded her a liar and denied they had romped shortly before his wedding to Kerry. He was also forced to make groveling apology and withdraw his accusations. Adult entertainer Amy, from West Yorkshire, was one of 2 lap dancers hired to entertain Brian and his stags on a coach trip during the raucous weekend. She claimed she had sex with Brian, but he initially denied it, insisting in an article with Heat magazine that, if it were true, the Westlife boys would never speak to me again. However, he eventually backtracked, with an apology from both Brian and the magazine reading, "In that interview, both Mr. McFadden and ourselves implicitly accused Ms. Amy Barker of lying, when she previously claimed in an article published in the Sunday People to have had a sexual encounter with Brian on the occasion of his stag night 3 years ago. We and Mr. McFadden accept that a sexual encounter did take place. And it was not our intention to accuse Ms. Barker of lying." For Kerry, who said she was very much in love, the news was devastating. Especially as she reportedly found out by reading it in the newspaper 6 months after the fact while Brian was away on tour. "That killed it for me. I loved Brian and I trusted him. I remember thinking, but Hess the fat one from Westlife. Why would he do this to me? She reportedly told the now-defunct News of the World. After their split, Brian moved on with Australian singer Delta Goodrem after they joined forces for his solo single, Almost Here. Kerry later quipped that she could have steered fate another way had she accepted Brian's invitation to join them in the recording studio instead of choosing to appear on Loose Women. I was Kerry McFadden, married to Brian when I first appeared on Loose Women age 22, she told the ITV show in 2017. It was always my Brian this and that, and then one day Brian said to me, I'm recording a new single with someone called Delta Goodrem, come with me, and I was like, I can't come, I'm on Loose Women. Imagine if I didn't, I'd still be married. However, she admitted that Delta wasn't the issue, adding, if someone falls out of love with you, there's nothing you can do. Did you think Kerry and Brian would go the distance? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.